Hello everyone, welcome back to online lecture series on engineering thermodynamics. This is our separate lecture series from our theory lectures, because in this lectures we are going to discuss about the numericals. So you can consider these as extra lectures or tutorial part. So let's begin. In every extra lecture we will be discussing around 2 to 3 numericals of our various topics, so that you can get some idea about numericals also. So let's discuss our first question. Air flows steadily at the rate of 0.5 kg per second through an air compressor. So we are having this air compressor arrangement where the mass flow rate is given as 0.5 kg per second, and it is entering at velocity 0.7 it is entering at 7 meter per second velocity, that is shown over here, at 100 kPa, that is kilopascal, and the specific volume is given as 0.95. So we are given some initial values, and it is leaving this air compressor at 5 ms inverse speed, that is shown over here, 700 kPa pressure, and the specific volume is 0.19 m³ per kg. The internal energy of air leaving is 90 kilojoule per kg, greater than that of air entering. So we are only given internal energy difference. Cooling water in the compressor jacket absorbs the heat of air from the air at 58 kilowatts. So this is the heat rejection which is happening. Compute the rate of shaft work input to the air in kilowatt. So we need to calculate the shaft work input, and second is the ratio of inlet pipe diameter to outlet pipe diameter. So this is the question, and here we have already seen the arrangement for this problem. Now let's solve this problem. So first we will begin with steady flow energy equation that we have applied over here. This is the entire steady flow energy equation, and our objective is to evaluate this portion. Okay, so we have made it as a subject in this equation, and the remaining things are taken outside. And if you see here, we are given the mass flow rate W, that is 0.5 kg per second. U2 minus U1 is already also given, that is the internal energy difference. The value of pressure and volume at inlet and exit are also available. The velocity is available, and here the only thing which is being neglected here is this potential energy, because we are assuming that there is no change in the potential energy, and it is quite evident from the figure also that there is not much difference of height between inlet pipe to outlet pipe. And here there is a negative sign which is missing over here, as it is a printing mistake, and it is seen here. Okay, so now once we put all these values and do normal calculation, we will be obtaining minus 122 kilowatt. And why it is minus? Because it signifies that it is work input and not the work output. So this is the answer that we have obtained. And second thing that we need to evaluate is the ratio of diameter of inlet and outlet pipe, that is d2 by d1. From the mass balance, we have W is equal to A1 V1 by the nu 1 is equal to A2 V2 by nu 2, that is continuity equation. So we can make A1 upon A2 as a ratio. So these all four values are easily available to us. So once we put them, we can get area, and once we take square root of it, why? Because area is equal to pi by 4 d square. So once we take square root, we can get the diameter ratio. So this is all about this problem. Now we will move forward to our next problem. That is, in steam power plant, steam flows steadily through a 0.2 meter diameter pipeline from boiler to turbine. That can be seen over here. This is our pipeline, and the diameter is given as 0.2 meter. At the boiler end, the steam conditions are found to be, so we are given pressure, comma, temperature, comma, H, that is enthalpy, and we are also given specific volume V or nu. At the turbine end, the same things are also available. So P is given, T is given, H is given, and nu is given. So all things are available, and the heat loss of 0.8 kilojoule per kg is given. So calculate the steam flow rate. So again, here also we have applied the steady flow energy equation for this pipeline. There is no change in the datum. So as there is no change in the datum, so change in potential energy will be 0. So these two will be removed from our equations. So now first we are applying the continuity equation over here. So based on the continuity equation, we can obtain the ratio of velocity. Now why this is important? Because if you see, we are given specific volume, but we are not given the velocity V. In our previous problem, velocity was available to us. So here we need to evaluate. So for that we have applied the continuity equation. One more thing that is interesting here is the work output. In this problem, as there is only a simple pipeline which transfers the steam from boiler to turbine, so there will not be any kind of work output or work input in this control volume. So d cut W upon dm in this case will be equal to 0. So this will also be neglected. We have also neglected this values, that is Z2 minus Z1 equal to 0. So now once we apply these assumptions, here our SFW equation has been reduced up to this. Now here what we are aware of now, we are aware of V1, V2, d cut Q upon dm, sorry, if we are not aware of V1 and V2, we are only aware of the ratio of V1 and V2, that is V2 by V1 equal to 1.15. We are not aware of the absolute values of these two. So now we are also aware of H1 and H2, so we can get the square difference of V2 and V1, that is this. So we have obtained the square difference of velocity, and we have this relation, that is the ratio of V1 and V2. So we can, once we combine them, we can get the absolute value of velocity through this calculation part, which is quite easy and straightforward. Now our objective in this question was to calculate the stream flow rate, that is mass flow rate, and to obtain that we have simply used this formula A1 V1 upon mu1. So A1 here, for area, we need to utilize this formula, that is pi by 4 d square. Velocity is already obtained and we know the specific volume at inlet. So finally we are getting this mass flow rate. So this is the thing which we required to calculate in this. So it is also a very simple example where we are having only a simple pipeline through a between boiler and turbine. Now we are going into more difficult part, that is this question, where you need to be careful while dealing with this. First, air at temperature of 15 degrees Celsius passes through a heat exchanger at velocity 30 meter per second. So we are given temperature value, we are given the velocity 30 meter per second, where its temperature is raised to 800 degree Celsius. That is, after coming out of this heat exchanger, the temperature value is 800 degree Celsius. So first you need to focus on this, and here initially it was at temperature 15 degrees Celsius and velocity 30 meter per second. At the exit of heat exchanger we are getting 800 degrees Celsius, and it then enters a turbine with the same velocity of 30 meter per second. So velocity is not getting changed, velocity is remaining constant, and expands in the turbine until its temperature falls to 650 degree Celsius. So here the temperature falls to 650 degree Celsius in turbine. So here, see, here it was 15 degrees Celsius, here it is 800 degrees Celsius, and here it is 650 degree Celsius. Now, on leaving the turbine, the air is taken at a velocity 60 meter per second. So now the velocity at the exit of turbine is 60 meter per second to a nozzle. So now it is taken into nozzle, where it expands until the temperature has fallen to 500 degrees Celsius. So here the temperature T4 has fallen to 500 degree Celsius. If the air flow rate is 2 kg per second, we are given three different tasks. First is the rate of heat transfer to the air in heat exchanger. So we need to calculate the value of Q. Then we need to calculate the power output from the turbine, assuming no heat loss. So we are here, Q will be 0, then the velocity at the exit of from the nozzle. So we need to calculate the velocity. assuming no heat loss. Take the enthalpy of air as H is equal to Cpt, where Cp is the specific heat at constant pressure equal to 1.005 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, and T is temperature. We have already seen this arrangement, so now we will be applying the formulas. So first we have applied this formula SFEE for heat exchanger. Okay, so here if you see, the equation is already known to us, where the velocity term is not considered because the velocity is almost same in heat exchanger. Potential energy changes are not considered, only the remaining things are there, and we are instead of the H we are using the formula H as Cp T. So finally we are getting the value of Q. Now the energy equation for turbine, so this whole calculation is now for turbine. So in turbine we cannot neglect the velocity changes. Q will be 0 in turbine, as we have seen here, that in turbine there will not be any form in turbine the temperature changes here, and assuming no heat loss, it is written over here. Let me show you this statement: the power output from the turbine assuming no heat loss. Okay, so here in this SFEE, with this formulas we have all the values available, that is the velocities. H can be obtained with Cpt, and once we make Wt upon omega as a subject, we can get the value of Wt upon per mass, and we are also given the mass flow rate, which is 2 kg per second. So finally we can obtain the value of work output from the turbine in absolute form. Now our last question which was there is the velocity at the exit of nozzle assuming no heat loss. So here we have written the energy equation for nozzle, that is here it is this way. So the other things are not present, like heat loss is not there, or we don't get any kind of work output, or we don't need to provide work input. So other, and as well as the potential energy terms are neglected. So we are only left with this formula, with V3 being available to us. How? Because if you see here, V3 is given as 60 meter per second. So V3 is available. And based on that V3 we can obtain the value of V4, and once we take the square root of this equation, we can get the velocity at the exit of nozzle, that is 554 meter per second. So you can see that the velocity at the exit of nozzle is quite high. So here, to revise this part, we have studied 3 different examples of steady flow energy equation. First was air compressor, in which we have obtained the work input required and the input diameter. Second question was on the simple pipeline between boiler and turbine, and third was a complex problem which contained 3 different thermodynamic components, that is heat exchanger, turbine and nozzle. So this is the end of our first extra lecture that was on steady flow energy equation. Thank you for watching this video.